We are back on Get Up, and let's talk about Justin Fields. He was brilliant from the moment he set foot in Columbus. In 2019, he threw 41 touchdowns, 3 picks. That's the all-time FBS record for that ratio. Then this year, Ohio State hit hard with COVID challenges, but Fields still improved in a lot of ways. His completion percentage went from 67 to 70%. He averaged nearly 30 more passing yards per game. Add it all up, he has the second highest career total QBR by any player since that metric was first used in 2004. It's only behind Tua Tagovailoa. So he's second on that list, but he's fifth on this one. Todd McShay's Mock Draft 4.0, which he debuted with us last week. You see it right there. He's got Fields, the fifth quarterback in this draft. But again, when he comes on and talks about it, he says, everyone says, they preface it with, well, I think he's the second best quarterback in this class, but McShay has him falling there. Mel has him falling there. Matt Miller has him falling there. Everyone we talk to. So I can't get a straight answer. Graziano, why does everyone think the second best quarterback in the draft is going to wind up being the fifth one taken?
Yeah, it's become this sort of narrative. Look, I mean, you talk to teams, like I'm hearing more positive than negative about Justin Fields. I think he's going to be a high pick. All we know for sure, we think we know for sure, is Trevor Lawrence at 1, Zach Wilson at 2. After that, there's a sense that maybe Mac Jones is the 49ers guy at 3, but I don't know that it's 100% decided yet, and it could still be Trey Lance or it could still be Justin Fields. After that, is Justin Fields still available? Is he the Atlanta Falcons guy? Is he the guy that makes them think about life after Matt Ryan? You know, is it something, I mean, the Detroit Lions are not in this conversation because they got Jared Goff, but is it out of the realm of possibility to think they might prefer Justin Fields' long-term prospects? So you start to see, oh, is he falling? Joey Galloway made a great point last hour about there's not like this one almighty draft board where, oh, this guy is now falling. It really depends on the team, what they like. Quarterback is a very subjective evaluation, and it could be that he's the apple of someone's eye a lot earlier than some of the mock drafts seem to think right now.
Understood. Marcus, but what? Having said that, you're right, and Galloway was right when he said that. There isn't one list that everyone goes off of. But guys like Mel and McShay, they're talking to everybody. They're not just making these up based on their evaluations. So from what they're hearing, forget about what number he goes. He's going to be fifth out of 5 quarterbacks, Marcus, and that, to me, it doesn't make sense. How do you explain it?
Well, first of all, Joey and Graz are boring. Everybody in the world know that these teams are going to pick whoever the hell they want to pick, okay? Everybody understands that, okay? Here's the thing. I think what's happening, G, is that let me not give a voice for everybody that this is how I feel. Why is Justin Fields not the second guy we are talking about? That's where I am. Like, if we're talking about talent, if we're talking about the evaluation, I think what comes about is why is Justin Fields not considered the second best quarterback? And why aren't we talking about Justin Fields to the Jets, let alone third to the San Francisco 49ers after they gave away and made the trade to get up? I believe that's where it's coming from, because when you talk to people, to your point, G, and even Graz and Joey as well, they all think Justin is good and can turn into a great player. Why are we not talking about him in that vein and having a conversation about, well, we don't know what's going to happen with Justin Fields. We know what's going to happen with Trevor Lawrence. We know what's going to happen with Zach Wilson, and we don't know what's going to happen with Justin Fields. Therein lies the issue with the conversation.
Correct. And Tim Hasselbeck, you opened up all of our eyes earlier this hour when you said you think Justin Fields has the ability to be an MVP of the league someday. So I'll ask you directly, because I have a vested interest in this. If you were making the decision and you had the second pick in this draft, as the Jets do, would you take Justin Fields ahead of Zach Wilson?
I would. But I would say this in terms of the discussion and you know, why people feel that way. Look, my list isn't going to be the same as somebody else's list, and Matt Miller's or McShay's or Mel's or any of that. And I'll just say this in terms of Zach Wilson. Look, I understand why somebody would have Zach Wilson ahead of Justin Fields. I personally don't, but I understand it. And so now it moves you to 3. That's where I think that people can start to scratch their head a little bit and say, well, wait a second, why Mac Jones instead of Justin Fields or Trey Lance instead of Justin Fields, that's where I think you can start to wonder, am I being told the truth? And I would just say this. I remember the year Daniel Jones was coming out, somebody that I was very close with at the New York Giants. I had a long conversation. Look, I consider this person a friend. I would not think that they would lie to me. We talked about Daniel Jones. They basically said under no circumstances did they think that he was that good of a player. All right? They ended up taking Daniel Jones. I was stunned. In fact, my feelings were hurt a little bit because I'm like, wait a second. I thought we were cool. Like, you talking to me like a media person, not a friend. So it is that season. We need to be aware of that.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.